We're live. All right. I was just saying, what'd you put in them now? So new construction in Ewa, or new construction, unreal expectations.
Mhm.
So the unreal expectations is a cue for a later video that he prompted. He's like, let's do some of the things that were brought to you throughout 2023.
Okay.
As a recap of like some unreal expectations.
Yeah.
Like, I want a mansion for $100,000 or
Yes.
something.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess let us know in the comments. Is that a video that you'd want to see first and foremost?
Mm-hmm.
Is there one that comes to mind for you?
Yeah.
What?
You remember where like it just came up again? We were talking about it. The guy who's just like, keep me posted when you find me my pool, beachfront, no less than 4 or 5 bedrooms, and oceanfront, and like in a Kahala or like a North Shore or something like that.
So before you even say pool, oceanfront, I mean, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Tell me what.
6 million minimum.
Yeah. 6 to 10, maybe.
6 to 10. Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, maybe you could go Makaha and be closer to 2 million.
Yeah.
Probably with the pool though.
I don't know.
Two-ish.
Two,
maybe in Makaha.
Yeah,
Ewa
maybe
Beach is still like pushing 3.
Mm-hmm.
But in those other locations, most of the island, like you're talking more.
But
6
even
million
there,
plus.
Yeah. But the goal was under $1 million.
Under $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just that's not something we're gonna be able to accomplish, unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. All
and if we could, I would buy it myself. So, but it's just not.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Unrealistic expectation for me. What? I don't know. Nothing super comes to mind. Did I have a seller this year who? Yeah, we had a seller. We ended up doing a really great job. We sold for way more than they realized was possible. They had set their target here, and we sold for 30,000 more than that. But they originally came with some, but it's okay. Like, so I'm actually have a listing appointment for the Ward Kakako area. I might bring you to that. We'll see. But
okay.
But it had sat on the market for a long time and didn't sell. And I just told him very transparently. I said, look, there are a few kind of sellers who want to overprice their homes. Some believe that I know the other ones went for 3 million, but mine's worth 4 million because I look at the paint. I picked out really good paint. And I'm like, sir, but they're all only like 3 years old. They're essentially the same thing. It's like, well, yeah, but not everyone has my window shades, and I'm willing to keep my couch here. It's like, hey, it's still not $1 million. You know, so there are those sellers. There are some that just have fear of missing out. So they're like, I there's no way I'm going to list my property for less than X because I just could not bear going to the market and not knowing what happened. Now they might be shooting themselves in the foot, and we'll explain that in detail. Depending on how far off they are, the timing. There's so many factors that could be a very adverse decision, but we'll, with an adverse outcome, but we'll discuss it transparently. And then there's some people who just need to list at a certain price because there's no other way they would sell it because they wouldn't even break even if they didn't list that price.
Yeah.
And
if that's the case, then it is what it is. Like, and
in our industry though, we know that you're going to have a hard time finding an agent that doesn't want to, quotes, buy your listing. And what that means is, what we just had it and we won the listing and went into escrow in 3 days.
2 days.
2 days. Yeah. So, the agents, if you get into a listing appointment and you're one of 3 agents and the client says 4 million or the client says 1 million and your price opinion is far off from that, you're going to be hard pressed to find an agent that doesn't tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
They're going to, oh yeah. You know why? Because I'd rather be the person who works with you, lets you be delusional at 1 million or try out 1 million, wherever the case may be. And then there's whole sales courses and trainings built around getting that listing at an overpriced price and then being there when the timing's right. So maybe that's the right home in California popped up or in Vegas,
and they have to get more.
Now someone's death date accelerated or divorce date, whatever the case may be, their motivations change and then they'll adjust to the market, actually price it to sell. then you want to be the person there.
Mhm.
And I get that. We have colleagues that kind of their whole business is built on that strategy.
Yeah.
And in an ascending market, it worked because eventually the market would catch up to your opinion.
Catch up. Yeah. Right.
But in a normal market,
Mhm.
the listings are just sitting, right?
Right.
And so, long story short, I told the guy, I said, that's the industry. What you won't find me doing is buying your listing.
Mhm.
But we can talk about why your opinion is different than my opinion.
Mhm.
See if we think that the other person is reasonable, and if you think I'm skilled in my price opinion. And then we can decide if it makes sense to market and price the home, market and list the home together. And he just so appreciated it. He's like, you know what? Yeah, because I know I was priced high, but I want to know your opinion. And then I don't want to go too far into it, but the thing is if I have that conversation very transparently up front and we take that listing and we're, hey, Mr. Seller, what are we going to do if we achieve these milestones? We get X amount of showings in the first week and no prices. Are we going to adjust? Are you forever at this price? You know, so let's say it's worth 800 today and you want to list at 900. In 3 and 4 and 5 months from now, when we have no showings, no offers, it's not for lack of marketing, because as we know, I'm not in control of this today, but we have this YouTube channel and we know that we can get the home on the MLS just like every other agent. We can, pay for ads to Amazon and Yahoo News and Forbes and run these little ads. No one buys homes because they saw an ad while they were shopping for socks, by the way. But we can get that exposure as well. But what no one can get is this exposure. Yeah. The quality, the view duration of the people who watch and support our channel, no one can get that. Yeah. So we know that if it doesn't sell with us, and I flex a little. I own multiple properties. I'm in multiple multifamily investments, writing offers on another fourplex, blah blah blah. So it's not for lack of skill in marketing and exposure. We know it's price. Yeah. But are you gonna hammer me because it's not selling? Are you gonna be unfair to me? Yeah. Or are we gonna be reasonable with each other? And he's like, thank you for for just talking like a normal person,
like a normal human.
Yeah. And not trying to sell me on some BS. Yeah. It's like, you're welcome. Let's try and sell your condo, maybe. But the thing too is if he's gonna beat me up on it and it's $1 million overpriced, then it's not a good use of our time. Right. So anyway, somehow that turned into listing a pitch. So you can go to coreteamhawaii.com and go to the very bottom of the page and fill out our contact form if you have a home that you're interested in getting a price opinion on, selling. Maybe you want to refinance. Maybe you're like, oh, we're not keeping this. This is me and my grandma and I live here, but we would like to know what it's worth. You can hit us up. And do we have questions? So if you come to our lives regularly, you know that, hey, we like to answer questions while we're on live.
Totally forgot that I had to pull that up.
A lot of shout outs. But if you're new around here, leave some questions and let us know what real estate, what Hawaii questions you have, just the market in general, market conditions, etc. And we enjoy having your questions here.
Aloha from Utah, Martin Tevaga.
What other shout outs we have?
Heather from Eva, Franny Lee from South Carolina. Aloha from Iowa, Martin Tevaga.
I have family in Greenville, South Carolina.
Do I know you, Martin Tevaga? I know the Tevagas on Maui.
Volleyball.
No, like police family, Kamehameha Maui family.
Okay. And then who? Heather from Eva?
Eva Beach.
Oh, Eva 96706. Shout out. South Carolina. Who's in South Carolina? I have family in Greenville.
South Carolina was Franny Lee.
Franny Lee. Happy birthday to Auntie Fran.
Yeah. Did you see that I posted?
Mahi missed her auntie's birthday.
She's like my second mom. Like when she's my mom's older sister. So when my mom passed, she's like my mom, my auntie mom. Like,
but you just got over the flu, so you can still play that card, right?
Yeah, but I'm like, not, yeah. But she was waiting for me to say something.
And then what did she say? It's not air appropriate.
I can't even say it on air.
she threw a
She threw me a profanity.
A profanity.
Like a moke titta profanity.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, sorry.
Obscenity. That's what I was looking
Not
for.
as if she doesn't, like, she never remembers any of our birthdays.
Yeah.
You know. But she was like, yeah, and what? I'm like, oh, sorry. My bad.
Okay, so what about new construction coming out? There was Nahere released today. So DR Horton released their smaller condos, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms.
Donnie McDaniel, hi.
Hey, yeah. How's it, Donnie?
Hi guys, hi Taya.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, Nahere released today. But can DR Horton, DHI Mortgage can lend on that?
They can, but they can't do VA.
Nobody
can do VA.
Okay. But they can do conventional.
They can do conventional portfolio if.
So can they do no government loans, no FHA, no VA?
I'll have to clarify with
Double
the
check.
sales team. I don't want to misspeak, but the big thing was VA. I feel like it's just VA because it's just a matter of VA has temporarily pulled their approval.
Yeah.
So
we're doing a shoot actually in 2 days on Thursday. We're going to do a shoot of a building in town, new construction, not even released yet. And then we just got another invite from another developer in town who wants us to do another video. And we previously shot one for the new construction areas in Eva. So if anyone's looking for new construction, make sure to contact us at the bottom of coreteamhawaii.com. Go to the very bottom and contact us. Any other questions?
Are they not Lotto Homes in DR Horton? No.
Not anymore.
Not right now. First come, first serve. That's always like open to change later on down the line. But as of right now, and just from like speaking to the developers and the sales team, it seems like it's going to be first come, first serve for a while. Yeah.
Any other questions? Get us your questions stacked up. I got a question from Mahe.
What's that?
You wear like this professional black dress and then you just throw on a flannel for the video?
Well, no, this is a long flannel. It's a professional flannel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, my mistake.
It's a coat. Thank you very much.
Oh.
See? This wasn't my regular flannel. I was like, it was cold this morning in Mililani.
It was.
It was like 70,
cold last night too.
71 or something when we left. It was like 69 in the morning when we were at the gym. So I was like, I'm gonna wear like a fall wardrobe.
Winter has arrived, it seems.
Yeah, and it's starting to get rainy.
So I just bought a new white truck.
Yeah,
and it's freaking raining every day now. And we took our kids to the rec center last night, and I didn't even get in the water. It was just too cold.
Freaking cold in Mililani now. And it's windy.
It was cold and windy.
It's so windy this week too. Anyway, we're like it's like 70s. It's like mid 70s. It's
71.
not like frigid or anything.
Yeah.
It's cold for us.
Yeah.
Seems like affordable homes have HOAs. Pros and cons of HOAs. Seems like HOAs can drain your monthly income. Then the fees can go up. All fair. Yep.
I got some stuff to say, but you go first.
Oh, go ahead. You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am buying an investment property right now in Las Vegas, and I specifically am targeting the communities that have HOAs because I don't want to budget for a roof, for siding, I don't want to pay monthly for landscaping. I don't want to repair sidewalks and driveways and concrete and spalling. So although I would cash flow about $400-500 more per month if I had the HOA, $400 if I didn't have the HOA. One roof, one drive, one $10,000 repair. And what is 10,000 divided by 400? So 4,000. Why can I math? It's the pressure.
Why would you ever ask me that?
Yeah. So 4, 10, 4,000, 20, 25. 25 months. So 20, is that accurate? Correct me if I'm wrong. 25, right? Yeah. We only can do like 3% commission. Just kidding. So 25 months worth of cash flow. And if I have to replace one driveway, it's gone. So I know that that's underwriting for an investment property, but same thing. If you live in a HOA community here, the pros are you're not budgeting for roof. My other investment I own is in Kalaeloa, which you guys have seen on this channel. We have a couple of videos about it. It's in an HOA community. The HOA fee there is $900 a month, but I have a resort style pool, resort landscaping. You get things that you would otherwise not get. Things are probably nicer than most people would otherwise keep them. And you don't have to budget for things, capital expenditures that you would otherwise have to budget for. Now the cons, I'll leave negative to you. You good at negative.
Well, I mean, it kind of just is what it is. When your question is like, oh, most affordable houses here you see have HOAs, and that's just, it is what it is. Affordable, if you mean townhouses and condos, they all have them. You can't really get away from that here.
Yeah.
But there are certain areas where if you just know you're not, ready, you're not ready for your forever house, you're not ready for that larger investment, but you want to get into the market, and a condo or a townhouse is what's going to be the game for you, or the game plan for you right now. Get on a consult with us, because not every building is like $1,000 for your HOA. Not every building is, exorbitantly high. Not every person needs a sauna, a tennis court, a putting green, a dog park. The more you have, the more you pay. The older your building, generally the more you pay, because now you're paying into reserves to prevent assessments later for the things that will for sure need work. If there's elevators or railings, if you're in an older building, to build that healthy reserve, sometimes they do tick up that HOA. But really, it's like, would you rather it be that, or would you rather it be like 5 years from now, you have like $200 a month until 2027? Because they have, they didn't build the reserves by making the HOA a little bit higher.
Just you need to paint your house, but now you don't want to come up with $9,000.
So it is what it is. There's not really a way to escape that in the townhouse and condo market here in Hawaii. But like Derek was saying, like if you're going to own it, you have less things. If you're going to own or occupy, there's less things for you as a homeowner to worry about. And if you're an investor, and especially if you're an investor and you're not even on island, it's like your HOA is kind of like your partner.
But they can be annoying. They can be like, we left our Christmas lights up too long last year. In some HOAs, they'll say, hey, you planted your plants in a way that is not in line with our rules, or your gray is not the right gray, or you can't leave slippers in front of the house.
There are definitely,
which in Hawaii, that's like offensive.
First of all, how dare you try to tell me where I can leave my slippers? Telling me I got to bring them inside. That's the whole point of slippers?
And these are my locals.
Those are my outside slippers.
Anyways, well, can you go to my screen here, Kench? So an example on the HOA topic, an example is going to Ocean Point and turn right on Keoneula, and you will find on the left here the Kainakai Association. There's multiple townhome associations in Ocean Point, and so this association versus this association versus Fairways Association, Spinnaker, Fairways, Kainakai. You can go back to me. I don't like Kainakai out of all of them, because it's the most expensive, but there's no pool. You don't get anything for it, but it's the most expensive. So if you're buying in this area, for example, we might explain to you like, hey, for me, I don't love that association costs more, but for no apparent return. So it just depends, and in town, you could go to, you go to this building and this building right next to each other,
right?
And they're managed completely differently. And you know what? In fact, in next week's live, we should probably get into how a lot of condos in town are not lendable right now because they're underinsured. They're underinsured for hurricane insurance. So that's another thing. If you're looking at listing and or buying, you got to look at the policy and probably the 6-month outlook on that HOA, and like, do they have adequate insurance, etc.
Yeah, that's been a thing that like.
There's more questions. Yeah, here you go. You manage the questions.
Okay, can I read? That's why.
Mahe was roasting me before we got on.
No, only because I noticed his baby mustache. Like,
oh, kind of everybody laugh, bro.
So it's November, guys. So it's like testicular cancer awareness? That's the original reason, right?
Men's mental health.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not
month.
about testicles. It's about mental health.
For you, it's always about certain things, but
I swear it was originally for that.
But you know what?
Maybe that was the ice plunge.
You know, I'm not
challenge or something.
You know, I'm a big, a pretty staunch, like no victim mentality person.
Yes.
It's not productive.
Mm-hmm.
But there can be no place, there'd be no place for a man to, Chris Rock has a thing. He's like, women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is contingent upon you providing, which broad generalizations, right? But yeah, like we're supposed to provide, be stoic, don't complain, show up, so I saw it, and they used to always do this when I was in the military, and I would never get on board with it because it was such a military thing.
Now that you're out,
now that I'm out, I'm like,
it's time to grow my Fu
you know
Manchu.
what? Yeah, like men need a space, they need a platform to for some mental health. But anyways, I digress. What's the other questions?
How long are houses staying on the market these days? That depends.
It varies. It's always going to vary from neighborhood to neighborhood, market to market. I think average days on market right now is, it's been a minute since I looked. It's been probably more than a month since I looked at that. But I believe it's like in the 37, 42 days, something like that, average days on market collectively. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. What we see is more anecdotally, less statistically. And because the stats too, that's an average, right? What we see is there are homes such as our listing, marketed right, priced right, other strategies right, not allowing access until you want to. Maybe you should allow access day one. It just depends what day are you listing during the week. When deployed right for the right product, it's still competitive. You're still going to escrow really fast. There could be a neighborhood like Ocean Point in Ewa Beach or in Kailua where a home could sit for months, and then a home within a half-mile radius would go with. There was one recently in Kaneohe. I think they had 30 offers. Now they underpriced it intentionally to start a feeding frenzy. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful flipped product.
30 offers.
Like 30 offers in this market.
While
and it was like during the week where the rates were the worst. A few weeks ago. So it really does just depend.
Yeah.
It depends what you're buying, where you're buying.
Yeah. Where you're buying.
For the person who wrote that question, let us know like what area you're thinking and considering, and we can maybe give it a little more specific answer.
Okay. From Vincent, realistically speaking, is it a good idea to buy a property right after graduating?
What are you graduating from first? And congratulations.
Yeah.
That you will not meet a person who bought real estate 20 years ago
who was like, oh dang, I regret starting so early.
Yeah.
Like
there's two cliches, and I don't really like cliches because they can sound salesy, but with all my prefacing and pre-apologizing for the cliche, I'll send it. But it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. Also, actually 3 maybe. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait.
I don't think I've heard that one.
Yeah, that's another one. And then what's the other one I say sometimes? Oh, the best. I hate this one, but it's true. The best time to buy real estate was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And all of these things, they sound salesy and oversimplified, but
if you're in position, like
remember we had those clients from DC who were buying Ho'opili all cash. I don't want to out them here, but they simply were an immigrant entrepreneur family who ran their business, like a corner store, and bought like 7 houses along the way. At our last brokerage we were at, there was a guy, not the most sophisticated person I ever met, not unsophisticated, but normal dude. But he had been in the military. Every chance he got when he PCS'd, he bought a home, refinanced it, bought a home, ended up with several homes by the time he retired from military and government, and was worth at the time $5-6 million. Might be worth probably $7 million plus now. And most anyone watching this is certainly as sophisticated as him. or at least as he was at the time when he's entering real estate,
Mm-hmm.
and worth millions. So it's not too early to buy.
Yeah.
It's not too early. The long and short of it.
Okay. Speaking of HOA, is it true that residents need to pay for some who don't pay their HOA? That's a huge concern if it's true. In other words, what happens to the residents who don't pay for their HOA? Others will cover their cost?
Good question. So an HOA can record a lien on your property, and typically people,
seen.
which we've seen.
Yeah.
They even like doing it, right? Because if you're not paying your HOA, especially if it's vacant, they can record the lien, and then they can legally take a form of possession and start to rent it out so that they can earn the money needed. And now if your HOA fee was $500, but it rents for $2,500 a month, then they're positive $2,000 a month. So they don't mind that situation. In a 2008 sort of scenario, when the ducks start falling, or when the dominoes fall. So when there's 100 homes, let's say, and everyone has to pay $1,000 HOA, and now 50 of the homes foreclose, no owners paying, that HOA still needs the same amount of money for the sidewalks, for the pool, for the common roofs, for all of this stuff. So yeah, your HOA fee would, I mean, this is another generic example, oversimplification, but your HOA could then jump from 1,000 to 2,000 because you do have to pay for the other people. And so in a 2008, excuse me, totally unprecedented, never happened before. We can't just have recency bias and assume that, well, we're due for another 2008 every 10 years. But I don't want to downplay it either. Like, it was horrible. What'll happen is there's this velocity of people foreclosing. And so now maybe you're at 10% of owners and 20%. And then let's say it would have stopped at 20%, but because HOA fees had to go up, it's like a train was supposed to slow down here, but goes a little further. Now instead of 20%, like 23% of people foreclose because that increased HOA fee got some people. That is a real concern. I had a mentor before who cautioned me, don't buy an HOA community, don't buy. I bought, and then my home went up $100,000 in value. So I'm glad I didn't listen to the person. Sometimes, there's bulls and bears, right? Bulls are the people always, buying stocks and always aggressive about the market. Bears are the people who are afraid. Oh no, it has to crash. It must crash. It has to crash. Like, gotta crash. There's bulls and there's bears. And sometimes bulls are right. Sometimes bears are right. Over time, bears are always right. Meaning if you buy real estate and you wait long enough, you will be right. Bulls. Oh yeah, bull. Did I say it wrong? Oh yeah, bulls are always right, because bears are right in the downturn, but over time that you see the needle move that way, bears are always right. So buy real estate, wait. I mean, maybe someone who did it in like Detroit or some market that we don't understand, who regrets buying, but for the most part, that doesn't exist. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What are some homeowner concerns specific to Hawaii besides SALT? For example, Iowa home buyers require a disclosure for radon. We have a few. Termite. That's super common here, so much so that it's written into our purchase contract. There's already like a pre-written in. This is what happens.
That's the one like radon.
Yeah.
Termite is our radon.
Yeah.
And then some of those places, they don't have termite. Like, termite's not a standard thing. It would be like an additional unusual thing in some states.
Which just is so ingrained into us in the Hawaii market that like when people are like, oh, interesting. I'm like, oh, interesting that you're interested. Yeah, interesting that you think it's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a thing that we have here. Flood zones. We have different flood zones to be aware of, and different insurance requirements and implications based on what flood zone you're in.
Yeah.
We have
the bad ones are
stuff.
AE, and VE.
Yeah.
Or AEF and VEF. Those are the ones going to cause you to have higher insurance.
Yeah.
Costs. What else?
Some coastal issues especially on the northeast side of the island.
HARPTA and FERPTA taxes. So I'm not going to give tax advice here, but if you are a non-Hawaii resident but American domestic citizen, then there's a HARPTA tax. And then if you are a foreign investor and then you go to sell on your capital gains, you pay a FERPTA tax. And so, or they call it a withholding, not a tax, but same effect.
Yeah.
Those are the things that come to mind.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I think those are the big ones.
Well, on Big Island, there are volcano zones.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
So on Big Island, there are volcano zones, and depending on the volcano zone, it could affect your lending potential.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes a beautiful, like well, this is only 400,000. Wow, look at it. It's like, wow.
It's in a known flood path, or not flood, volcano. It's in a known lava path.
I say, lava zones. Yeah.
It's not like a matter of if, it's like when. Like, it happens a lot there. So
yeah, it's like
financing.
You live in the Gulf of Mexico.
Ensuring that is difficult, can be. So if you have questions about specific ones, let us know so we can hook you up with one of our partners there. Who
straight up, if you're buying in a lava zone, well, we always do the best thing for you no matter what. One of those instances, if you're buying in a lava zone and you're like, no, but I really want to buy in that area because I'm not going to be your agent. I'm going to hook you up with someone I know. 2 or 3 people come to mind who know those areas.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
What else we got?
Love watching you two. Freaking hilarious together. Thanks, Camille. Sakamoto. Okay, let's see.
Related to Mike Sakamoto?
Maybe. I don't know.
You know Micah.
Enjoyed watching your Wahiawa video. Thank you, Susan. Paradise is lost when you lose your whole income to garbage fees that you get nothing back. We were just there and the humidity will keep us away. Thank you for the great shows. I mean, yeah, it's humid. It's not like, I came back from Florida and I thought I was going to die there. So
that's different. That's different.
So it ain't for everyone. Your hair going to act different over here, because of the humidity.
I get that problem.
Let's see what else. Heather says, don't be house broke. Only go with what you absolutely can afford, allowing you to still save.
Agree.
I agree. Yeah.
I live in a small home. I live in a home I could afford much more at this point. We don't move for many reasons. I'd rather, if I'm at that affordable point, Heather, and some, in real estate, like we could have a good year, or maybe we expand, or whatever the case may be. My wife starts working again. I'd rather take that and then go buy a rental property and stay in my little conservative, affordable house that I can afford. So I'm supposed to be outside going beach or taking my kids to practice and beach anyway, right? So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I believe in that. Who was the next one? Susan. We have Manoa taste with Waianae budget. She said Eva is most likely.
Did we say that in a video?
I don't know. It sounds like something we would say, but
I feel like it's been said. Manoa taste and Waianae budget.
Okay. Bernardo, what happens when leasehold ends? Well, when
the lease is renewed. So sometimes the fee is available and you can purchase the fee and convert your home to fee simple. There's a building in town right now. The lease isn't ending, but the lease might get bought by like an insurance company, like a Geico type person might buy the lease, the rights to the lease, in which case they can make it no longer available for purchase. So in this building, some people are trying to scramble to get their fee purchased now while they still can, and or the fee changes and goes up.
Mm-hmm.
And then your fee would change. So it really just depends.
Or in worst case scenario, it could be like the person who, or the entity who holds the lease is clearing everybody out because they're going to sell that entire building, or they're going to use that piece of real estate for something else. So there is an instance where you just don't have the option to, like a KSBE situation where like leases can just end because at that date.
What's KSBE?
Kamehameha Schools Bishop Estate.
Oh.
So there's like,
what did they do? What building did they do that?
Like, for instance,
so we're gonna blow your house down. We're gonna blow your building down,
or they'll turn it into like a commercial, or they'll give it back to a something like that whole stretch of buildings in Haleiwa, which were commercial to begin with anyway, but like where Okies used to be.
Oh yeah,
like that got redone and looks like Maui Whalers now, and that's where like
Oh.
the new Matsumoto's is and stuff. But like those businesses, you know, like
By the way, I had Ululani
yeah,
shave ice the other day.
I saw
There,
still good, right?
it's
Like,
so good.
yeah, still
Bruh, it's so good.
still good.
Matsumoto's has nothing on Ululani.
Yeah, no, they don't.
And I ordered something that you
Unapologetic. Like
you
they don't.
might actually be okay with. I got pickled mango.
Okay. Yes.
Kind of tastes weird though. Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it
it's
tastes
good.
like pickled mango.
Yeah, like
which
it's
is weird.
It,
but
it's weird. It's a weird.
it's not like
experience.
flavored. Like it's like it is like pickled mango juice.
I got pickled mango. Yeah, it's like from the jar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What
got
about
pickled mango,
wet lemon
wedding
peel?
cake, and leche.
Together?
Yeah.
Why?
I know.
Wedding cake
she's
and
so
pickled mango?
offended.
That just like okay. Okay, whatever. Handle that. Look at this bully. Handle that.
Yeah.
hope-
That's the brother.
I hope
told him
Mahe
hit me
had
up.
all the candy corn her heart desires. Saving them for you, brother.
He said he got his license, and then he wants info, but hit me up.
Okay.
Mimi.
Above it. What is it? Oh, after Maui, have you guys heard about any homeowners insurance companies leaving Hawaii? I believe State Farm is one of the major ones, but not sure about their current rating. I haven't heard
of people leaving. We've heard it's hard, man. There's been so much noise around that. And in this office, it was kind of somber and taking its toll. We raised money. We helped some of people close to Mahe specifically. I personally donated. We all personally went to Costco. But anyways, I don't know about. So it just got so noisy and so heavy that we, it's not been my focus. But I don't know if insurance companies leaving, but I know a lot of those uncles and aunties didn't necessarily have the right coverage or coverage at all. State Farm, though, I told a story, and I won't tell the whole thing, but this heroic story. This guy in California that I knew raced from the coast to inland, 3-hour drive, made it in like half the time, going 200 miles per hour, motorcycle, saves his wife and his kid with like a minute to spare. And I knew him from the Coast Guard, but he had, I'm pretty sure, State Farm, and he was like, they were amazing.
Okay, because I was gonna say State Farm is like one of the ones that clients usually really like here. So
is that? Yeah, I mean, because we have State Farm offices all over Hawaii. I think that you can franchise them. But he said, I don't want to give him too much shine if it wasn't them, but I do think that he had State Farm, and he was like filled out the paperwork. They're sending checks, like it was seamless. I really don't know. I'm not the person to comment on it.
I haven't heard of anybody leaving, but I have heard just from like friends and family that everybody is still like waiting.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hey, you know what? Quick plug to everyone out there. I got people in the last week or so, 3 people stopped me. Like, hey, I like your channel. So one at Whole Foods. And of course, my wife, she's like, oh man, she's not an attention type kind of person, but super nice person. She's like, hey, brother, I'll let you know, I love your videos, and patted me on the back. And then this other lady, we were in the sub place in Wahiawa shooting a video for our most recent video. And she's like, you always say to say hi, so I'm sorry to bother you. And she's super nice. And it's like, yeah, we want you to say hi because otherwise we might embarrass ourselves. I might be scolding my kids or got mayonnaise on my cheek eating my sandwich or something. And then someone else. So if you guys see us out in town, say hi.
Yes, please do. Let's see. Thoughts on uprooting 12 and 9-year-old kids, or wait till kids are older to move from Southern California, looking in Kaneohe. 12 and 9. That was about the age when I came back home. And like
from where?
From Maui. And we like left everything that the kids knew and came back home over here.
Oh, you weren't 12.
No. I mean, like that's how old my kids were when we came over. And
I was 12 when I moved to Hawaii from Florida.
Yeah. It's not, if you want to do it, like it's not going to get easier the older they get, especially, and this is just speaking from like my personal experience. Like I feel like like my daughter and my son, like the older you get, the more, especially if your kids have been like at the same school this whole time, it just becomes harder and harder for them to like make new friends or to like, it becomes sadder when they leave because they are leaving their friends they've had the whole time. And right, I think like 12 is like an okay age where everything's kind of new for everyone, because like everybody's their first time in middle school, everybody's their first time going to high school. Like if you transfer over as like a sophomore in high school or something, that seems like it'd be a little bit harder of an integration, because it'd be like, oh, who's this, like, so I don't think if the timing is right for you guys and your family, I don't think
it's such a specific question to the family, right?
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's going to be, your kids are going to protest like at first, no matter what age they're at.
Well, so Mike and Jessica, I don't think their kids particularly wanted to move, and then now they're thriving. I won't say his name, but a client and friend of mine who actually met this person came into our YouTube, and I ended up meeting him and doing a little business together. But he said so far as his kids were like threatening self-harm.
Oh my gosh.
They did not want to come here.
Yeah.
And now they love it. He said they're singing Kalohe Kai in their truck, and they would go beach and like throwing out little bits of pigeon here and there. But they were absolutely against it. For me, it was different, right? Because I was following my dad here, and it was my roots and my culture, and I wanted to be of Hawaii, and I had already previously fallen in love with it from the summers preceding me moving here at 12. But I had some rough times, like not related to being a new kid, because by the time I was in high school, everyone was like, "Oh, I forgot you was from Florida." You're like, "I thought you were just local." I'm like, "Oh, I kind of am, right?" No, they're like, I don't know. But hard times make strong men. Hard times make strong people, and so I think moving and disrupting can be very character shaping in a positive way. But that takes some time. That may not be obvious during the time. And also, whether I acknowledge that or not, because now, look, we help a lot of people who are either moving back home or from the mainland or military or whatever. And I, with my past experience, can relate to a ton of them. And so my experience serves me in a huge way, prominent right here in this moment on this channel. But then I look at my brother-in-law guys who just grew up Aiea, all their good friends, Aiea, born and raised. Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of cool too, though. You guys have been friends since like first grade.
Forever.
Yeah. And so whatever, just come. If can.
Yeah, if can. Let's see. Hi, this is from Eric. Hi, Derek and Mahe. Does your age make a difference when being a first-time buyer? Do they take your age into consideration? Thanks.
When Mahe's age, hard to
no.
Actually they can't. If you are 99 years old, so in terms of discrimination, they can't. You could be 99 years old on hospice. If you want to apply for the loan and you can afford it, they can't not give it to you. I don't know if hospice might be an actual federal lending contingency, but you'd be 99 years old. Yeah. And I don't even think hospice, they can deny you.
Yeah.
But
I don't think
it doesn't affect anything else.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't really. No, and they can discriminate in senior communities. So there are 55 plus communities.
Yeah.
Where you have to be 55.
That's like reverse, like
yeah.
It's like reverse what I think he's like asking about.
Yeah. But no, it doesn't matter, except for the sooner the better in terms of time in the market. You want more time in the market.
And if you are older, you can sometimes you have the ability to get a place like that, like Olaloa and Milamani, which is, they're cheaper than open market, but you got to like be a certain age to qualify. So.
And those 55 plus communities, anyone can buy them. Actually, they can't discriminate you from buying them, but they can discriminate you from living in it somehow. I don't know how that works.
What?
So like I can buy in the 55 plus community,
but only my dad can live in it.
But then only your dad can live in it.
Interesting. You can
maybe
rent
your dad should live over there.
I know we've kind of been looking into it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's cool.
Let's see. Handora, do you think the presidential election will affect interest rates?
Yeah, that's a interesting thing, because I've not looked it up myself, but I saw stats. I saw people like parrot stats and reference stats that say in a president's fourth year, 8 times out of 10 or something, like more often than not, is some of the strongest economic times, because they, manipulate the Fed and stuff to lower rates, etc. So if you are the powers that are in office right now and you want a healthy economy when everyone's going to the voting polls, you may influence rates to be lower so that everything feels stimulated. Also, it's an unsure and, tumultuous time. So who knows?
Yeah.
We won't really know.
Okay. Alana, best place to advertise a long-term rental other than MLS. I own a home on Maunalani Heights with a separate 2-1 downstairs. Besides the MLS, apartments.com.
You can go yeah. So for rentals, you can manually upload them to Zillow, apartments.com, Facebook Marketplace. What's
People
like
be on
digress.
Facebook Marketplace all the time.
Yeah. So like Craigslist these days, proceed with caution,
Yeah.
right? Facebook Marketplace, notes of that
Mhm.
maybe, and then on to Zillow and stuff. So I would say Zillow would probably be the most popular.
Yeah. Jean, is it always a bad idea to buy a leasehold condo?
Hold on, let me answer the other one for the Maunalani person. There's a website called AHRN, Alpha Hotel Romeo November, HRN, and it's a military site. So I don't know if you got to have a military ID to get on it. It's been a while. One of our teammates, actually, he's on it. So you could call in and ask for Kenny, and maybe he could post it for you. I'm not sure, but I would like to rent through some unique site like a AHRN, or go onto Facebook and the military spouse websites, or just someplace where I feel like I can vet out the person. If now, as a property manager, which I'm not, but if I, as a realtor, we have to play within the guardrails, fair housing laws and stuff. But you being owner who's renting a place that you still live in, so you're renting like the ADU, and I sound like it was a female. I'm just concerned for your safety. I would seek out certain Facebook groups. It doesn't have to be military too. It can be local and stuff, but like seek out Facebook groups that you feel safe with if you're going to go that route, and or like AHRN. Is it always bad to buy a leasehold condo? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I mean,
generally so.
It rarely is a winning situation.
I underwrote one. I was like looking at investments, and I was like, well,
even in like the nicest ones where you can like rent it for the most, like it still doesn't like leave enough time for you to like recoup that.
Yeah. So I was going to cash flow. It was like the condo was worth 200 over the 20 something years remaining on the lease. I would make 500. So 300,000 positive over 20 something years. And that sounds great, right? Like, wow, you buy it for 200, you make 500 in rent. But if you look at the opportunity cost of all of the appreciation I would experience, hopefully, in another condo, asterisks more on condos than on single family. I'm more, different combo. But if you look at the opportunity cost there and the cash flow on the regular condo, I'm still going fee simple. I'm still building wealth through fee simple, unless I'm older and just want, certain stability, and I want to own a place for my last 10 years, 15 years, whatever.
Yeah. And you just like don't care about
building wealth, leaving it
or
behind
leaving
to someone.
Yeah, right. Building or leaving wealth behind. So it's rare.
It's rare. I mean, in theory, if I could get 100, like I'd buy a trailer in Malibu on the cliffside and Airbnb it.
Yeah.
It's a depreciating asset, no doubt. But like, we don't really find those gross examples of like high cash flow. Very often, or really at all.
Okay, Ethan, thinking about buying commercial multifamilies in Hawaii. How have y'all's experience been in dealings as landlords? If not experience, then clients' experiences. Okay.
What kind of commercial multifamily? So are you talking about like 5 units? Because that's different lending than 4. 4 units is residential, 5 units is technically in the commercial world. Or, you're talking about like an 8-unit, 2-story walk up in Makiki. You're talking about like a pretty D class kind of thing, and certain neighborhoods, it kind of depend on your strategy. One of the things about some of those apartment buildings here that make them fairly lower maintenance is their concrete, right? So you're not there's potentially no drywall and other things like that. Now the concrete can have spalling and need repairs, etc. But I'd rather in a really like
commercial 4+, he said.
Commercial fourplex?
4+.
4+. So 4, if it's residential, is not commercial, but if you're saying like business mixed use, I don't know. I don't think the rules are, I don't think that the investing principles are too much different than buying commercial space anywhere else. I'm cautious around retail. I'm paying attention to what kind of restaurants. If it's mixed residential and retail, then paying attention to that. Amazon's crushing everyone. I think same principles. And we don't do property management residential anymore. Did a little residential and never done commercial. So I guess it depends on what kind of businesses you're targeting. Yeah.
Okay, Mimi, any new smaller sized condo projects between Aiea and Pearl Harbor? Eva is too far, but Ala Moana area is overcrowded and don't really like high-rise condos. No.
Don't like high-rise?
No.
Salt Lake got
That's
some more
not new,
medium.
though.
Not new though.
Yeah, she's asking like new. No, there just isn't. If you want new, it's really just Eva Beach, something coming up in Kapolei, but that's farther even. Koa Ridge, which is, like Waipio Gentry, kind of near Mililani.
I'll show you guys Koa Ridge on the map. So
or downtown, but
I'll zoom
that's
out
all
here.
high rises for the new ones.
So for everyone watching, she asked between Aiea and Pearl Harbor, which is a really small run. This is like 7 minutes drive. There is no like new construction in these areas.
Yeah.
If you don't want tall buildings. So right here in Aiea, Ko'uka Loop, this is near our recording content studio. Ko'uka Loop, there's a, did I do that wrong? Yeah. Ko'uka Loop is right here. Pretty sure. Yeah, Ko'uka Loop. So there are tall high-rise buildings here, but they're not new. They're like 70s builds.
Yeah.
In Pearl City, there's 2 like over here, but they're not new.
Yeah.
If you want new, the closest thing would be Costco right here. Koa Ridge is right here. So can I like drop a pin kind of thing? Yeah. So right where I put my gray thing there, I'll zoom out. Right here is Koa Ridge. That would
still
be the
pretty
newest.
Close, like commuter wise, it's not that bad.
So I live in Mililani and I commute to Aiea every day. So if I'm thinking Koa Ridge to Aiea, because you said you'd be okay with Aiea, so I'm just like, what are you adding?
Yeah.
Most days you're adding 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's not that
most days you're adding 10. Now there could be that day where there's an accident right here and it changes everything. But if you want new, smaller townhome-ish sort of thing, it's Koa Ridge all day. Yeah.
Okay. Michael. Hi, Michael. Problem with senior community is there's no kids. The sound of playing keiki makes us smile. Yeah.
I like Michael.
I do too.
Don't go to Ko'olina.
Why? Because they don't like the sound of kids in Ko'olina.
Well, there's tribes.
Okay.
Certain tribes don't like the sound of kids and will report you to the board for your sound of your kids. You live over there, and I own over there, but it just varies. And then there's
I think some are like worse than others, huh? Like some are a little bit more like.
But it's also like the perfect place for kids because there's your
really
pool
is.
and your sidewalks and God forbid you put chalk on those sidewalks. So
that's okay.
It just varies.
Yeah, depends. Rambler question about condo easements. Are they rare, predatory, or given notice? Could you get a random easement even though the condo never needed repairs?
I think you mean assessments.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe assessment. They depend on the financial position of the building, and they're not rare. I would say I see them pretty frequently in town and older buildings.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I want to both say, I want to say two like contradicting things. Like they're not common.
Like they
It's
don't
not-
happen all the time, but also like, yeah, for sure I see them. Like,
Yeah, but they're also not rare, you know. But what I think you're getting into is like, can you get an assessment for
For
no good
nothing,
reason due to
yeah.
corruption? And I think that that's way less likely because that's out in the open under a microscope, audited. What you are more likely to experience is
increases in
long-term, less obvious corruption. I know people that own certain contracting companies, and they say they'll go and do a bid to maybe like do this whole big project and redo the whole driveway or repaint the whole thing or re-roof the whole thing, and the association manager or the powers that be or whatever tend to go with the people that give them Christmas cards. You know what I mean? And so
in
then
doing like Yelp reviewing of certain like project things and stuff. I'm seeing that a lot in comments.
So I try not to listen to the person just screaming obscenities from their
But it's like
their unit. Like
10 different people from the same like
that's red
HOA
flagish,
that
right?
it's like, oh,
But I'm talking about a contractor who's like, no, yeah, I lose out on bids because I don't give the envelopes. I don't grease the wheels. He's like, I'm at a point where I don't have to, but sometimes before you gotta do what you gotta do. And so let's throw some numbers at that. Let's say this job costs $100,000, but there were bids that could have got you for $90,000 and same quality of work. There's really no good reason for going for that $100,000 bid. What does that mean for you? Well, $10,000 from reserves spent over time. So now your reserves are depleted by $10,000, and that represents, depending on how much reserves are required, that represents a certain amount. So
how many
over
units are
time,
there, all of the
over time that could affect, or that inherently does affect the increases in the
Right.
HOA fees. And
right.
so I would be looking for more of that kind of laundering than there's an assessment. And so now I'm just getting, blatantly taxed in this one large sum. It's really not that. It's more systemic. I'm not throwing stones at any particular association, but those happenings happen from time to time.
Those happenings happen. Okay, let's see. Will low rises with businesses on the ground floor have higher maintenance fees or HOA?
Low rises or businesses?
Low rises.
So like a 2 or 3 story, but businesses first floor.
We don't have a ton of those.
A ton of that in Hawaii.
Yeah. I mean,
no, but you know what? Depending on the zoning, your property tax could be different. So let's say there's 10 doors. One is residential and the other 9 are being used for business.
They got to go by the
we learned about this, right?
Use.
Yeah. The greater use of it is commercial. And so the commercial property tax rate is different than the residential property tax rate. So that's something I'll look into. But maintenance fees, they probably should be more. I would think they'd be more inherently just because you have more foot traffic, more plumbing being used, the toilets being flushed more. Like I would think that would be higher than a residential use situation.
I mean,
I don't really have like a educated answer from experience.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a ton of that, but the buildings that we do see that in already, like I don't know their HOAs to be like exorbitantly higher than the other buildings around them either, though.
It's plausible,
like
but
a
I don't
Capitol
really
Place
know.
or like everything in Ward that is going to get activated. I don't know. Yeah, good question though. Just curious. I recently inherited a home in town without a mortgage. I have homeowners insurance. However, would you pay for hurricane insurance if you don't have a mortgage on your home?
I would.
Yeah.
I have to say yes.
Yeah.
I would. No,
it's not that expensive either. So I would, because knock on wood, though, we always are like threatened with it and never really happens. Like it's not that big of a lift to protect yourself against something like that could happen here. And we know could happen here.
But if it's an old house in town and they don't have hurricane clips, I don't know. But also, are you living in it or are you renting it? Because even more so if you're renting it, I would want it in insurance.
Yeah, right. Let's see. Yeah, she's like, she grew up in town and doesn't remember being affected by any of the big hurricanes. I don't remember either. Like, I feel like Kauai
it's
takes the
been-
brunt of that, but at the same time, like,
it's been like a century since we got hit on Oahu
Mhm.
by a hurricane or something like that. Iniki didn't even fully hit Kauai in 92, I believe. But yeah, you never know. We are in the middle of the ocean.
yeah. Mimi, what's the average credit score of the rental applicants in Hawaii? Is it okay to turn down the applicants based on credit score? I don't know what the average rental.
I'm not sure what the average is. And because I'm not a property manager, and 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the lawsuits come from property management, but only 20% of the revenue. So I want to be careful. I'm not giving any official advice, but the fact that you have to do that they're allowed to run your credit, I'm sure that you can discriminate and discern based on credit, and that's no fair housing violation. I'm pretty positive. But is there like a threshold? Like if it's above a 740, then you're advised to treat it, the same, anything over that, and not discriminate based on credit score after 740. Like that could be a thing. Since I don't property manage, I want to, yeah. But you are within your right to run the credit, because all the PM companies do run people's credit.
Let's see. If you live in a condo, do people leave solar panels on their patio to charge their batteries? That depends. You have to, for something like that in a condo, you have to get
Usually have to get
approval because it changes the exterior look of the place.
You can't even just choose your plants, which offends you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Like,
first of all,
I want Monstera. You ain't telling me nothing different.
You can't limit the trees I have in my lanai. But it depends. Different places will have different rules and regulations of whether or not they're approved by the association. So if it's something that you want to do, that you want to have panels, make sure that you are having your agent, and give us a call if you need help with that, looking into crossing some things off the list if they are just like no to solar panels. So
yeah.
Let's do a couple more. I have to get to work today. I got a lot of work.
Yeah. What did I skip?
Thank you guys for the questions. We love it.
Which one?
Oh shoot! I hit Mahe's camera.
Kunia 2. When's the release of Kunia 2, but with the laughing face?
Kunia 2.
What is that?
With a laughing face.
Yeah. That's different. Kunia is not that.
Is that what they're calling Kunia 2?
I don't know what you mean by Kunia 2, but I would love to answer that question. I just don't really understand.
Well, in our Kunia video, we kind of like said the good, the bad, talk about the fire conditions. I wonder. I don't know. All right. What else? Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you guys for this. We love spending time with you on here. We think, you know what? I'll be vulnerable. Things have been difficult. We've just had some difficult stuff, and coming on here, spending time with you people,
I was wondering
gasses us up.
If like you were gonna want to still do it today or not. If you're gonna have like the energy and the bandwidth.
I can always get up for the YouTube people.
Yeah.
No, there's that thing that we're talking about out there. Just all the escrows have been challenging, whether it's the other agent or
then we all have like
unit,
family stuff going on too. Like
I just learned this morning, my stepmother broke her arm in 4 spots.
Oh,
before the meeting.
God, stop.
I didn't say anything, so I might fly out for that to help out. But it's been heavy. Like we've had some challenging escrows, some challenging situations, some heavy lifts, some like a lot of complex stuff. And I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And as the team leader, I bear certain, cost and responsibilities, implications. But thank you guys. We love you just gassing us up.
Yeah, it really puts fuel in the tank, and it's fun for us. So we like spending time with you guys, and we appreciate that you guys come join us for these and
for sure.
Come see us.
Let us know what you want to do next time. I think next week we'll make sure to touch on the we'll bring lender in to talk about the condos and some of the lending issues because of underinsurance issues and underinsured issues. Any last minute questions pop up?
Nope, just wishing us the best. Thank you guys.
Aloha, guys.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. Bye.